Hello everyone, I do apologise for that. We had some technical issues there and I do apologise that we are starting late. Thank you so much for bearing with us. Hello and welcome to this evening's event. This is a virtual Year 5 information evening. It's another first for us doing a Year 5 information evening, although I have to say I think we are getting rather used to doing things like this now. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nina Adamson. I'm the head teacher here at St Edward's Royal Free, and as you know, I started here in September 2020, and I've really loved being here. I have to say, before I go any further, I just want to say about your Year 5 sons and daughters, they are absolutely delightful and they're doing so well considering everything they've navigated in the past year. They've really thrown themselves into this year, and I feel really proud of them, as I'm sure you do, but do pass that on to them. So a little bit more about me. In usual circumstances, I probably would have invited parents in. I'd have said, oh, come in, come and have a scone, have a lovely cup of tea, let's have a chat. And we've not been able to do that. And I'm really sorry for that. So I thought it might be useful for me to introduce myself to you and to actually say to you, well, here's a little bit about me. I think that's important for parents to be able to know about their head teachers. So a little bit about me. I've been in education for over 20 years. I'm one of these quite strange people, I think, who went straight through university, did my postgrad teaching qualification, and then went in to be a teacher. I have done a variety of roles in a variety of different schools, and I have been a head teacher, obviously. I've also been a head of department. I started life as a history teacher. I've been head of year. I was a Senko and an assistant head teacher and a deputy head teacher at a grammar school not too far from here. And then I went on to be head of school at a secondary school in Outer London, a church secondary school, before coming on to here. So on a personal note, I do have 3 children, 3 sons of my own. They're a similar age to middle school children, so I do think I do know a little bit about what it feels like to be worrying about your own children. I also would say that I'm a regular church attender. I attend church with my family when we can, not at the moment, I have to say, but in Marlow Bottom. And also I'm an avid keeper of hens, which the children like to ask me about, and some of the staff. And for my sins, I'm also a bit of a Disney fanatic. I really love being here at St Edward's Royal Free, and that is a bit of an odd thing to say, I think, under the circumstances. Many people say to me, including some of yourselves, when you've sort of spoken to me across the rec, or perhaps those of you who have come in on occasion, will often say to me, oh, I'm really sorry for you starting at a school in the middle of this. And actually, I have to say I love being here. I really love being here. It's a strange thing to say in the circumstances, but it is such a very lovely school. Our pupils are absolutely fantastic. They have really thrown themselves into this year, but the kindness and the support that they provide each other, it just permeates everything we do here at St Edward's Royal Free. I'm also would like to say we're very fortunate with our staff. The government sort of threw teachers back into classrooms, but the teachers here have thrown themselves into it wonderfully. They've adapted brilliantly. They are committed. Our school attendance is with our staff is fantastic, and I just feel really blessed actually to be here running St Edward's Royal Free and having the opportunity to take it forwards in the next stage of its development. So a little bit about this evening. It should take half an hour to 45 minutes, I hope. We're going to have some short videos from the Year 5 form tutors. Mrs. Bird, who's our head of Key Stage 2, is going to take over from me afterwards, and she's going to talk to you about how Year 5 has settled in. And she's also going to talk to you about the maths curriculum which she teaches. Miss Wright, our assistant head teacher, will be taking over to cover elements of the English curriculum and particular elements of reading as well. And finally, Mr. Miles, our deputy head teacher, is going to cover elements of assessment and talk to you about parents' evenings and how they are going to run. A recording of this presentation will also be available on our website from tomorrow. So if you do know of any parents who actually have not managed to log on this evening, it would be great if you could pass that on to them. So just to move on then. The aims of the evening then, as I've said, we're going to outline principles of the curriculum, particularly aspects of maths and English. We're also going to talk to you a little bit, Mrs. Bell is going to talk to you about how you can help your child. And as I said, we're going to talk about elements of assessments and parents' evenings. So hopefully this will work. These are some short videos that our Year 5 form tutors have put together for you. I know that many of you have met them when you did that virtual parents session in October, but we thought it'd be nice for you to find out what else they teach actually in school.
Hello, I'm Miss Chambers and I'm the form tutor for 5-1 and I also teach Year 6 maths.
Hello, my name is Miss Cairns and I'm the 5-2 form tutor here at St. Edward's. Here I teach Year 5 English, Humanities and PSHE, and in Year 6 I teach Humanities and English as well. Thanks very much.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Millington. I am form tutor to 5-3. I also teach English and RE in Year 6 as well as Humanities in Year 5.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Perkins and I'm a form tutor for 5-4. I also teach Year 6 Math, English and RE.
Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Mrs. Bird now. Do just bear with us, it might be a bit clunky as we move from one person to the next. Thank you, and actually I really hope to meet you soon. Good evening. My name is Amanda Bird and I'm the head of Key Stage 2, which in our school means that I look after Year 5 and Year 6, and I'm also responsible for transition from Year 4. Year 5 have settled down. Year 5 have settled down really well into life here at Sturf, and they've taken the new rules and routines in their stride. During the presentation, you will see some examples of how happy and settled they are. They have adapted really well to increased levels of homework since Year 4, moving between classrooms for some subjects and learning their way around the buildings. Pupils move the outside way between lessons as we operate a largely secondary model, and this naturally gives them a physical break and a little bit of fresh air. They have 9 to 10 hours a week with their form tutor in Year 5, and this forms what we call LCS, that's Literacy and Combined Studies, including Geography, History and PSHE. And in some cases, pupils also have RE or Maths or Science with their form tutor. We recommend contacting your child's form tutor in case of any issue via the main office email, and the office will ensure that either myself or another senior member of staff is informed if necessary. You can also write a note in your child's planner for any of their teachers, but it's your child's responsibility to show the relevant teacher. Year 5 have recently enjoyed a Zoom presentation with the author Hamza Arshad, and they tell me all the time that they're happy to be here. They experience a range of different teaching and learning styles across their subjects as teachers try to be as creative as possible whilst following the government guidance. We use a range of marking and assessment methods here at St Edward's. Pupils will sometimes self-assess their work against given criteria, and they'll often discuss answers with a partner or work collaboratively when it's possible to do so, as seen here in this PE lesson based on teamwork. Homework will include spellings, times table practice, and longer project work, which may span 2 or 3 weeks. Due to the current situation, it is not possible for books to be marked as often as normal, but pupils should still be aware of how they're performing and what they can do to improve in every subject. We use ATL or Attitude to Learning grades, and a copy of these can be found in your child's planner. The grades go from 5 to 1, and ATL 1 is the best grade. Please talk to your child about how they would self-assess their ATL grade in different subjects, and also please ask them how many house points they've gained recently. Mr Miles, the Deputy Head, will be talking to you later about Parents' Evening and how they will operate this year, and also about our reporting procedures. We're often asked how parents can best help their children. Try to ensure that they have a calm place to read and complete homework. Ideally, computers should be in a family or communal space, and we strongly advise that pupils in Key Stage 2 do not have access to social media as they don't have the emotional maturity to cope with the situations that can arise. Phones should not be brought into school unless absolutely necessary, and then this is at parents' own risk. Pupils' safe and appropriate use of technology outside of school
is the responsibility of their parents and carers. Talk to your child about their day, but give them some time to unwind. Try to let them tell you rather than firing questions as soon as you see them. As a parent myself, I know how hard this can be when we're often met with nothing to the question, what did you do today? So sometimes using different questions, such as what made you laugh or what did you find difficult at school, can help to elicit some more detail. Encourage resilience. Sometimes, as we all know, children say or do mean things to each other. Help your child to identify when they need adult help to deal with a problem and when they can deal with it safely themselves. It's also at this age that pupils start to develop habits for the future, and it's a good idea to help your child to check their bag the night before school. There is an equipment list on page 18 of your child's planner. Currently, of course, pupils are not allowed to borrow equipment from a friend, and although school staff can lend them a pen or pencil in an emergency, then that equipment then has to be quarantined for 3 days before another pupil can use it. So it would really help if all children could come to school with the correct equipment properly labelled. Now, scissors are not currently on the equipment list in the planner, but if you could equip your child with a child-friendly pair of scissors and a new mini whiteboard pen when the one they were given in September runs out, that would be really helpful. Thank you. Pupils record their homework in their homework diary or planner, and we also ask you to check and sign this on at least a weekly basis. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about maths in Year 5. So in Year 5, pupils have 1 hour of maths a day. 5-1 have Miss Chambers, 5-2 have me, Mrs. Bird, 5-3 have Mrs. Marsh, and 5-4 have Mr. Ward. You can see the Year 4 topics there. And in Year 5, we revise the Year 4 skills and topics, and we learn the Year 5 curriculum. Pupils can also revisit any of the lesson topics since September via their maths classroom on Google Classroom, looking at absence work. Problem solving is an important part of the maths curriculum, and if you can incorporate maths and problem solving into family life, so much the better. Pizza is really great for an awareness of fractions, as long as you cut it up fairly. We would encourage you to be positive about maths and include conversations and elements of maths in conversations at home when possible. So, TT Rockstars. So, this is an online game which tests pupils on their times tables up to 12 times 12 and helps pupils to improve their accuracy and speed. We expect pupils in Key Stage 2 to play at least an hour a week, about 10 minutes most days on average, but this does not include choosing new outfits for their avatars, which they love to do. There are also competitions in school, such as the recent Battle of the Bands, and pupils gain certificates when they achieve a particular status. These are issued termly. We also play in school using paper versions, and pupils progress through the levels to eventually become a times table rockstar. I'm now going to hand over to Miss Wright, who will talk to you about English in Year 5 and in particular the Accelerated Reader programme.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jadal Wright, and this year I have the pleasure of leading English at Key Stage 2, which is why I am speaking to you tonight about a reading programme which forms an integral part of our approach to reading. Your children have been using this programme since September, so it won't be entirely unfamiliar to you. We have, however, found that in the past sharing information on the programme with parents has been beneficial to our pupils and how much they gain from this reading programme. So in the next few minutes, I will be talking to you about the following: why we as a school believe that reading is important to our pupils, why we have chosen this specific programme above others for our pupils, and I'd like to give you a quick overview of how the programme works. And finally, I will leave you with some frequently asked questions. So let's begin. Accelerated Reader is an online programme, which means pupils are able to access the programme at school or at home. It provides pupils with a personalised reading programme. Pupils are guided to read books which are aimed at their individual comprehension ability. This programme does not supply the books. Pupils choose books which have been written by real authors. Accelerated Reader simply designs the quizzes for these books. This programme is constantly being updated so that pupils are able to take quizzes on the latest releases. If your child has been taking quizzes at home, you might already have seen this screen. It shows the 3 components of Accelerated Reader: the star reading, where pupils take a progress test, the Accelerated Reader section, where pupils take the quizzes on the books they've read, and the Accelerated Reader articles, where pupils can select from hundreds of non-fiction reading texts. So why is reading important to us? We believe strongly that reading provides not only an academic foundation for our pupils, but also an opportunity to expose pupils to the wider world. We know that reading is one of the most important factors in developing comprehension and writing skills, and that these are needed to make learning across the curriculum accessible to pupils. But we also strive to encourage wider reading across a broad range of authors and styles and topics to ensure that pupils develop a knowledge of the world, and along with this are able to formulate their ideas and opinions. Hence the final bullet point: if I only read the books others are reading, then I can only have the thoughts others are thinking. This is where parents have an enormous amount of influence. Challenge your child to take a risk on a new author or a new topic, to move away from the familiar and try the unknown. So why have we chosen this specific programme for our school? Pupils are able to choose from mainstream books and are not restricted to structured reading programmes where all the books in the scheme are written by the same author or the same selection of authors, and therefore miss out on exposure to a broad range of styles and topics. Accelerated Reader also provides teaching staff with excellent data on reading progress, and we use this data weekly to inform our discussions with pupils. We have found that as the pupils become familiar with AR and how it works, they self-manage their reading. They use the programme to work out what they need to read next. They can follow their own progress, and then they can track the number of words they read. So a quick overview of how it works. So firstly, pupils take a STAR test, and this provides a book level and a reading age, and we share this information with our pupils. Book levels range anything from 1.2 to 12. Pupils are then free to select any book which falls within their book level. We encourage the F5s to start at the lower end and work their way up. Once they've read their book, they take a quiz as soon as possible, and this is because we're not testing memory, we are testing comprehension, and they receive instant results. If you are signed up to Home Connect email notification, you will receive an email which gives you information on the quiz your child has just taken, and then teachers are able to monitor progress and move pupils up book levels once they can view the results of quizzes. Now, a note on book levels. I need to give you some clarification because book levels can cause some confusion with parents and pupils. A book level can be anything from 0.8 to 12. As a rough guide, a book level of between 4 and 6 are where most books fall. If you are reading a book level of 12, then you would be reading Charles Dickens or War and Peace. Book levels do not correspond to chronological age. On my slide, it states that AR assesses comprehension, not decoding. Generally, most pupils, by the time they join our school, are able to decode many more words than they can comprehend. But what happens is pupils go home with books which parents find too easy because their child can decode the words in the books. What AR does is it shows us at what level pupils are able to comprehend 85% of what they are reading, and this is the book level that your child receives. Book levels are worked out using a readability formula, which looks at sentence complexity and length, percentage polysyllabic words, level of vocabulary, and the overall length of a book. And I apologize for the cliche, but we do still judge a book by its cover. But when you take a deeper look at the language inside, you may find that the book is more demanding than originally thought. So don't be put off too quickly by the books your children are bringing home. Now, I have at this point shared with you the bulk of the information that I wanted to pass over to you tonight. I will move through the next few slides quite quickly, as I'm just showing you really what the system looks like and where you can get information on your child's reading. This is a STAR test. It's comprised out of multiple choice questions, which become progressively more difficult as the pupil gets the answers correct. It is computer adaptive, so if pupils get the answers wrong, the questions become easier. This is a pupil finding a book that they're about to take a quiz on. Again, the quiz questions are multiple choice. Once the quiz has been taken, this is what the results look like. This pupil achieved 85% and earned 10 points and read 77,325 words. This function of being able to show pupils how many words that they have read is extremely motivational, especially for struggling readers. It actually gives them a stronger sense of achievement than passing the quiz. I'm not sure why, maybe because usually these are really big numbers. The pupils have this dashboard, and it is something that you should look at when with your child, because you'll be able to see how many books they are reading and the average percentage correct. This is also where you will find the words read total, and it's a running total which is only cleared at the end of the academic year. You can select your child's bookshelf option and have a look at all the books that your child has read since being enrolled on the programme. Accelerated Reader Articles is a fairly new upgrade to this programme, and I have to say an absolutely fantastic resource for wider reading. It comprises hundreds of non-fiction articles across a broad range of topics, as you can see on the screen, and these are available to read online. The articles are matched to the child's book level, but aimed at the higher end of the book level, which means that some pupils might benefit from reading these with an adult. Each article has 3 quiz questions at the end to test understanding, and the articles will also appear on the pupil's bookshelf. It appears as other reading. If you have a child with a strong interest in non-fiction, then this is the place to go. Now, finally, I have some frequently asked questions, which I will just give you some time to read. This is what Home Connect looks like. It is aimed at parents as it provides information only. Pupils cannot take quizzes on this part of the programme. You should have received a letter explaining how you sign up to it. I spoke to some Year 5s about Accelerated Reader, and this is what they said. Reading helps with writing, it gives you ideas and helps with spelling. The system makes us read more carefully because we want to pass the quiz. When I pass the quiz, I feel really proud. I used to use speech marks in the wrong place, but now I read more, I know how to use them. I like that we have a big library and a 60-minute library lesson per week. I don't always get time to read at home. It is good that the teachers can track how well we're doing. At my first school, the teachers didn't read the books, so we could give them the wrong answers, and they didn't even know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time tonight, and thank you for your ongoing support with reading.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Miles and I'm Deputy Head Teacher here at St Edward's Wall 3. Tonight I wish to speak to you about our reporting processes in school. I'm afraid it's not quite as exciting as TT Rockstars or our Accelerated Reader programme, but nevertheless I hope you will find it useful as I will be explaining how and when you receive information about your child's progress here at St Edward's. So just before the half-term break you will have received your child's flight path. And in Year 6, we place pupils on flight paths in English, Maths and Science. The flight paths are created using your child's Key Stage 1 assessment outcome. The Key Stage 1 assessments were the tests that your child completed when they were in Year 2 in their first school and are used to measure the progress from Years 2 to Year 6. The flight path should help you to understand where your child should be when you receive your child's report at the end of each term. When your child moves into Year 6, we provide flight paths in all curriculum subjects. This is not possible in Year 5, as when we receive students from the first schools, we don't receive information about foundation subjects. There are five flight paths in total and levels of assessment: developing, emerging, meeting, exceeding and accelerating. The majority of pupils will fit into the middle three bands, with 75 to 90% of pupils at least meeting and 20 to 30% at exceeding. At the end of each long term, you will receive a flip report, which will include assessments in all curriculum subjects. Your child's teachers will make assessments on the skills and knowledge that they have been learning. The majority of assessments are one-off assessments, but in some subjects such as English, languages, RE and music, the teacher will return to them during the year and reassess. So please don't be alarmed if your child is emerging in term 1 in these subject areas, because as they progress through the year, their assessments will change to reflect their flight path as they grasp the skills and knowledge required. It is also possible that if you have children in the same year group, assessments might be different, as some subjects rotate topics between classes, such as science, and this is due to the resources and equipment available. We run tutor and subject team meetings during the year. The tutor meetings took place on our inset day in October, and we hope that you found these useful. Our subject meetings will take place after the Christmas break, and I will speak to you in more detail about the Year 5 evening shortly. We usually have 3 formal work going home weeks. These normally take place the week before the half-term breaks. During these weeks, we encourage all children to take their books and their folders home with them, and this allows your child and you to look through their work to see how they've been getting on in school. The marking in books and folders by teachers will help pupils understand what they did well and what they need to do to improve. Now, unfortunately, it didn't happen in October this term due to the COVID situation and concerns of spreading the virus, with books and folders being touched by different people at home and then being returned into school. But we hope we can reinstate this at some stage, as we know that parents have appreciated being allowed to see their child's work. At the end of the school year, you will receive a report from your child's tutor, which will also include attitude to learning grades from your child's subject teachers. These can be found on page 13 of your child's planner. In old money, this is similar to an effort grade, but it now includes more elements of what it means to be an excellent learner. In Year 5, we are starting to already prepare children for their Year 6 SATs, which they will undertake in May 2022. These assessments in English and Maths are important as they will be used as predictors for their GCSEs, which they will sit at the end of Key Stage 4. It is important to remember that children are working in English and Maths. They're always working on their SATs. Hence, it's important to make sure attendance is regular and the importance of the role that you have in supporting your child's learning. Our Year 6 information evening is very focused on the SATs and will definitely be one that you'll want to attend and be part of next year. The school website is also a good resource and will provide you with further information on assessments, as well as our curriculum pathways, which illustrate what your child will cover in all subjects from Years 5 to Year 8. I mentioned parents' evenings earlier, and we would normally have run 3 subject evenings in the autumn term for different year groups. But as you can probably appreciate, these can't work in the same format this year, and we had needed to give time and thought as to how they will run this year. We have opted for a software system called School Cloud. This will allow us to undertake parent meetings virtually, and you will be the first parents to trial this the week commencing Monday, the 18th of January. This is the 3rd week back after the Christmas break. That week, you will have the opportunity to meet with your child's Maths and English teachers. The main evening will take place on Wednesday, the 20th of January, but there will be an additional evening for those children taught Maths by Miss Chambers on Monday, the 18th of January. Miss Chambers is our only teacher who teaches Maths and English to Year 5. We will be writing to you in the 1st week back after the Christmas break, and this letter will include information on how you can make appointments and how to access the meetings. This system is very new to us, so please be patient as our staff will be using it for the first time. We are getting better at engaging with these online platforms, but for teachers who are so used to face-to-face time with parents and children, it will take time for some of us to adjust. So please be aware that all teachers have classes of 30 and will be on calls that evening from 4 to 7 p.m, having already taught a day's worth of lessons. Each meeting will be 5 minutes in length, and it's important that your child is present with you on the call. The technology will allow you to use a mobile phone, but please ensure you are in an area of good reception. The call will finish automatically after 5 minutes, and this is out of the control of the teachers, so it's important that your conversations are focused and you are aware of the timer. Now that concludes our information evening tonight. We hope you found the evening useful, and we will make sure there is a copy of the PowerPoint and the recording of this meeting available on our school website. And at some stage tonight you will receive, if you haven't done so already, a short survey through parent mail. Please can we ask that you give us some feedback. It is only short and should not take long for you to complete. That just leaves me to say thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you soon.